I remember when I was growing up, I was the only girl then in the family, and I was the last born. And I used to follow them, and they would tell me, Michelle, you're a girl, go back home. It's rough out here, go home and play with dolls. And I wasn't that kind of kid, or some kind of bompopi. What is 2 plus 2? And I would answer. And sometimes I would deliberately get the answer wrong so that I could hit. I think this thing was inbuilt into me by my teacher where I was studying. My understanding was the most knowledgeable person are teachers. So I used to look up to teachers. I wanted to be a teacher. Each time I was asked that question, go primary, especially in primary, what would you like to be when you grow up? I would raise my hand and my answer would always be, I would like to be a teacher. I never used to think of other disciplines or profession then, no. An entrepreneur. I remember when I was still with DHL and BEMCO, I used to have little shops. There was a time I owned a hairpiece shop in African Mall. It used to do very well. It's just that the lady that used to manage then passed on. But it was one of the brilliant ideas that I brought into this country. I'm proud to say I was one of the first, if not the first, to start this human hair retailing in Botswana. I used to get my stock in the US. And traveling also helped me. It exposed me to so many different types of businesses that were not yet featured or featuring in Botswana. And then looking at the fact that a little bit I then started my first hair and beauty salon, OG West. I started something that was unique, that I thought was unique and beautiful. And unfortunately, that's when the trips Angola or Mozambique started, and my business started suffering. And I don't take that as a failure, I take it as a lesson that if you want your business to excel or to succeed, you have to be hands-on and be there all the time. You cannot leave your business to be run for you by other people.
When I met Michelle, she had just received her Cambridge results, and I quickly noticed that she was a high achiever because her results were sterling. She seemed like a well-rounded person, well-informed. She liked to advise others and guide them. A few years down the line, I stumbled on a newspaper, and she was on the front page, having achieved the best results in SEMA. I remember when she started Spring Couriers, there was a lot of skepticism. She built a very firm foundation with the same bricks that were thrown at her so that she can see through her vision.
We met 2006. She came up with a plan of us. She was working for DHL, I was at African Express. So we all agreed because we knew we were going to make it. Both of us were determined, and each one of us specialized in whatever. She specialized in finance, and I was good in operation and customer service. And also, I had lots of clientele where I was coming from, and I knew I was going to be supported.
Back in 1996, that's when I decided I wanted to start a courier company because I was very experienced and I took it that I'm quite knowledgeable in this industry. So I approached another courier guru by the name of Pinky Setlalakos. I remember us meeting at a little coffee shop, Komolapo Crossing. I'd called her for coffee, and then that's when I presented this idea to her. And she jumped into this, she accepted the idea. Another courier company, African Express. I asked her to resign because putting up and setting up a courier company is not an easy job. Eventually she did resign, and we started this establishment together. We didn't have much finance. Yes, ha ke ntse ke bereka ko bo Bemco le ko bo Botswana ne ke saver. I grew up in a family that encouraged us to save. You spend half and you save half. So in ronelwa 2 pula go to go ja ko sekolong for lunch, we would spend 1 pula, but 1 pula should go back home. And that's how I grew up with this mentality of save. Even during my salary days, Kobo Bemco le Kobo Botswana, I would spend only half, no matter how difficult it was, and I would save half. This continued throughout my DHL days. So by the time I left DHL, I had a bit of saving in my bank account, and that also helped with setting up or establishing Sprint Couriers. But I'll share with you, that was nothing compared to the amount that we needed to put up this whole operation. We needed more than like 10 times what I had. And each time we went to the financial institutions to assist us financially, they would just reject us, saying that we are not even an operating company yet. How can we know that you are not a risk? Blah, blah, blah. But one day I just decided, FNB, but this time we are not going to go through the channels. We are just going to knock on the door, the CEO. Now I was earning a 5-digit salary. Master Lokosile and a 5-digit salary. We were getting 6 digits. How can we honestly quit our well-paying jobs to come and play? And indeed, one day we did that. We just bolted and we knocked at Denny Zandamela. By then the CEO was Denny Zandamela. And we presented our case. And after we finished talking to him, he just stood up from his chair, walked us to the credit manager's office and told him, please assist these ladies. Because he could see something that all other bank managers didn't see in us. And that was the beginning of Sprint Couriers. Total experience in life. Challenges will always be there. When we started Sprint Couriers, we had capital challenge, we had human resources challenge, we had so many other resources challenges. But then, if you're experienced, you can always relate back to your experience and see how was that challenge resolved, and then you apply it. Especially that we were both coming from a similar industry. We were so equipped and knowledgeable with probable challenges and probable solutions. It directly translates to how you've been carrying yourself throughout the past years. If you're a saving type of person, then to me, it's already a plus when you start a business, because you are already into that culture and being serious with your life. I didn't have lots of money when I started. Master Lokosi on a repository, almost everything, including her car, the vehicle that was supposed to transport her from point A to point B looking for business. She never had, but she still, despite her not having a vehicle, she still managed to see the minimum number of customers that we had set for ourselves to see on a daily basis. By foot, but that it goes with determination, perseverance, and being consistent. You cannot perform well on a Monday and then Tuesday you relax. No, it has to be very consistent. Sprint Couriers is an express courier and logistics solutions company. In other words, we provide services of assisting to move goods and parcels from point A to point B, done in the most efficient way. That's what Sprint Couriers does. And we offer both domestic services where we deliver parcels and urgent parcels nationwide. And we also offer international courier services to all plus 220 countries worldwide. Whilst Ranzarelemo Sprint Couriers, I realized that our strength lies within the domestic coverage. Our international capability was not as strong and couldn't match other international or multinational companies like DHL or FedEx. And for us to compensate on that shortcoming, I had to identify a company that we could partner with on the international side. And that's when Aramex came by. Fear is part of the whole business equation. You just have to take a very bold step. Unless you take a risk, there'll never be a reward. Now, I took a risk, and right now it's rewarding us, but it could have easily gone the other way around. So the advice that I would give to other aspiring entrepreneurs is be bold, take that step, because unless you take it, you'll never know.